Just answering questions with WebTech. Consider all of these stubs. Some of these are not actually able to be really looked up. So do you think Paddock did it? The opinion I have right now, barring some really overwhelming evidence, or maybe some people just honestly saying they were making up stories to get page views and actually present something useful, because they're off the list if they expended that much effort and won't acknowledge that they were doing it for views. Unless somebody comes up with something important, really earth-shattering, I don't think anybody but Paddock did it. The thing is, it could very easily be somebody else involved. But every single thing anybody brings up to try to point it someplace else is always in the effort of being a contrarian. Their motivations are clear, and I don't have a reason to believe it is anybody but Paddock. I need a reason to believe it's somebody else. Just like Lee Harvey Oswald really shouldn't have been able to get away with doing that. And that scares the hell out of me and you, too. But he's the only one that really is indicated correctly. I truly believe that somebody else was involved, but we don't have any data for it. Not really. And again, if people would stop pointing to badly done versions of the videos and films and pointing at reflections as being guns, it would help a lot. Methinks they doth meme too much and not really want to have facts of truth available. And yes, karaoke should be illegal. Can you look up electric fog? Okay, I tried looking this up for any other source. This is the one that comes up only twice. This is a very obscure subject. Unless I get more information, please post below me. Did Bruce Gernon, the person who seems to be talking about this more, ever look up released frozen carbon dioxide from clathrate that would make the sea boil, because it's literally frozen CO2. It's dry ice bubbling up through the water. It'll cause a ship to sink and smothers sailors because it's CO2. See also methane releases causing exactly the same thing that have been video recorded and also can cause an explosion. I'm serious. Next. No, I really need to know where this is origin storied from. It's usually associated with the Bermuda Triangle as a kind of a physics excuse. The idea that a cloud would follow you or be attracted to you because it's electrically charged is not unusual. Clouds hover around all sorts of objects, and sometimes it is electrostatically driven. But that isn't the kind of thing that necessarily does what you're thinking of. Next, moving magma underneath the ocean can cause a magnetic field to spin like a freaking top. That's actually an indication you're near an earthquake zone. That has been recorded on the sides of volcanoes when they're about to erupt. Because the magma, some of it's solid and it has magnetic fields to it. Blocks of iron can move around underneath you. And there are areas literally within walking distance of here where compasses don't work because there's iron deposits. They just have to rotate. That's all. And if you see them moving, or if there's just electrical charges running from some sort of coercive force under the ocean because it's salt water, yeah, you can have that happen, but I need better data. But anyway, here we go. Look up the strange death of Louis Cohen in Chicago, Illinois in 2016. This was one of those things I don't want to look up because literally nobody has any clue what happened to him. It's literally nothing but theories. Smoke them if you got them. Any idea you come up with will be better than the we have no clue what happened. As of the last thing I could find reported, nobody knows what happened. But anyway, could a fire have somehow started from something he did? They said his hand was near an electrical box at some point. He was a prominent real estate attorney. So many possibilities. He was found burned and floating in a river. That's called overkill. Don't they just do cement over shoes in Chicago anymore? I'm pretty sure I don't know what this is, but I will look it up. Thank you for bringing this up. But I did my standard, substandard lookup to look for anybody else who came up with it. What I find are conspiracy theorists saying, I have no clue and I'm not even going to try. This is one of those things where it's like, that's one of those things that keeps you up at night. What the hell? Lightning bolt? Electrical discharge? What? That's going to take some looking up, because after it stopped being a news story, everybody said the same thing. This is disturbing. No, literally, investigative reporters like, I don't want to look that up. Anyway, next. Headline News, or CNN, ran a special about the Delphi double homicide in 2017. Then took it off of YouTube. Thanks. I need to know the actual channel it was on. I can't find any references. I'm going to have to go trudge through Reddit. Searching archives with no luck, and then the person doing this left a link going somewhere, and all it did was bring up that archive.org doesn't even have a clue. It can't find its ass. Archive.org has turned out to be pretty useless when you do generalized searches like this. I need something more specific. But anyway, here's what I found. The 2 kids that ended up not being alive anymore were dropped off at the trailhead and at a parking area that led to a railway bridge that had been converted into basically just a walkway bridge called the Monon Railway Bridge or something like that, where they planned to go hiking. 2:07 that afternoon, one of them posted a Snapchat photo of the other walking on the trestle. They were found 800 meters northeast of the Monon Bridge and 50 feet north of the north bank of the Deer Creek. Now, I'm going to actually pontificate on this because it's the last thing I got to do, and the noise level's increasing, so let's just go with this. Let's just do this. I'm drawing this on the screen the way you would look at it on the map, which means it's going to look backwards, but I'm flipping the camera around. Here's where the parking lot was. Here's a curved trail that goes over a trestle and then ends at a trestle. There's no indication on any of the pages where they were supposed to be picked up. The image they have, according to a couple of pages that won't give me clear images, I'll be ranting about that in a minute, seems to show that they went back this way on the trestle, saw someone following them, and then they ended up on this side of the trestle again, on that side of the river, but down here. Almost like they went up past the trestle this way, trying to go back. Maybe they trusted the person who was in a photo or video that the police still haven't released. The audio's released and it says down the hill. It's called the Down the Hill Murders. And maybe they went down the trestle. One of them had the presence of mind of video recording the person that was coming towards them. May have been the person that was the perpetrator. We won't ever know, because the police won't release the information. Anyway, they then went 800 yards or 800 meters or whatever you want to call it, this way along the riverbank and ended up over here someplace. Or maybe they were running from somebody. Or maybe he gave an excuse, hey, can you help me? My dog got caught up in some wire over here. I don't know what happened. So I'm going to do 2 things. Number 1, I'm going to have links below, but I need completely clear, full resolution, not modified, not re-uploaded and rescaled or altered or anything else. No copyrights, no stamps, no CNN logos, or it was ABC logos on the pictures that were taken by the girl that took the photos. It also took a picture of the train trestle, rather artistic image, and the images of the perpetrator or potential perpetrator. What I find are images that are not in the same scale, could not possibly be from the same camera, and are rescaled all over the place by people who are amateur sleuths instead of getting them off of Snapchat and keeping them. And the worst thing is, most of them are screen grabs of someone looking at the website, their Snapchat, instead of grabbing the images and saving them. I'm going to go on a rant here. Why do news sources always post altered images that would be considered admissible evidence? It's like a pathological behavior. They stick the copyright on it, they stick logos on it, they use screen grabs instead of just grabbing the raw image, and this is getting to the point that it makes it physically impossible to double check any of this. Somebody had them at one time, and this is an old enough case I may not be able to find it. If anybody knows where there's an archive of just the data without commentary or alteration, if somebody knows of that, that's great. I can derive the images, but that's not the original image. I need every pixel identical to the one that was taken. Even if they're video grabs, they're still frames. They are still frames. Next thing is, there's only 3 frames, and they're from the potential perpetrator walking towards them. And at this late date, they still refuse to release the video. So that maybe one of us, like me being the person I am, looking at Google Street View, could find it. I will locate every camera, every cell tower, everything in the area that could be used for triangulation. Number 1, they should have used the cell phone if they found it, which they did, and grab all the data for all the data points and all the information from the cell tower data. They would have grabbed that if they were smart. The FBI should have done it, and if they didn't do it within a week, it was scrubbed. Number 1. Number 2, they should have released the video after this much time. They don't have any leads. Release the video. Next. The audio file is only a sample of the audio. I don't know why they're not releasing all of it. Now, obviously it could be a very good reason they're doing it, but the trouble is it's frustrating because nobody has the original data. Not providing the original image is no better than a UFO researcher putting up faked images of Nibiru or whatever. It's not useful. So, unaltered image, and all 3 of the images from the video grabs and the 2 images of the girl and the girl on the trestle, or any other images they posted to Snapchat or Facebook or whatever, I need them in original resolution. And if they're not original raw images, if they're just screen grabs, it's worthless. The only thing I can determine, and this is what I think happened, this is totally pulling it out of my ass, is they went from this parking lot down through the trestle, saw someone coming after them or following them, greeted them on the trestle, and walked back, and ended up on this side of the river. Or they were followed all the way across the trestle, ran across the trestle, tried to outrun them, and then ran that way instead of going back towards the parking lot, which doesn't make sense. I don't know what happened. No one else does either. And without releasing any more information, we don't have anything to work with. And I'm very frustrated with the police department because on their page, they took the images and cut and pasted them into something else. And also a page was put up as a WordPress page claiming to be the authentic page for the subject, and it does the same thing. So at this point, I have nothing to work with, and neither does anybody else. Post the links below for this case, and the case is referred to as, and I'll try to find it, the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, which are very distinctive names. I don't care if the Snapchat or the Facebook pages are available anymore. I'm going to go dig them up off of Reddit. I got the Reddit links below, but that's not really useful. I need someone to stop being a Reddit alt conspiracy theorist and be a researcher and have posted just the links. It doesn't matter if they exist anymore. I can dig them up. I'll find a way. But I need them. Or I need the raw data. I'd rather have the raw account information. And then I can try to figure out what happened. I'm not going to be able to contribute anything to this. I never think I'm going to solve anything. But then again, that's how every video I post is. And then I end up finding out what happened in about half the cases. That's a lot better than the 0 we're getting. Police officers in Delphi, I think it's, Delphi, Indiana, post the video and the raw images without any copyright statement or link or attribution. Just post the raw images. Post the raw video. Don't alter it. Did you look for metadata? I mean, you should have. And the FBI researching this, I'm sure they chopped up the pieces of that bridge trying to find some evidence that day. But they only found the bodies the next day, and if it rained or had even fog, it's ruined the crime scene. And that's not the crime scene. The bridge wasn't it. I don't know what happened. And I can't help if I don't have the raw data. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And I'm not trying to exploit any of these things if anybody's curious. I want to help.